In fact, that Obi or nothing, gingers, you see, these guys are used to tiptoeing politics, low energy politics. A crack deal at the back door, but these guys are coming with turbulence as politics. You know, rhetorical turbulence. They are coming with arguments. They are coming with declarations, Obi or nothing. That's not a threat. Political, because you need that energy.
Focus. That's supporting. They saw something, and you need the energy.
So you need the energy. As long as they're not breaching your rules, as long as they're going to follow your rules, if Obi notice, that's fine.
You can't take away the obedience from Obi.
Like I said, Obi can't even take obedience away from himself.
Well, Dr. Sam Amadi, Director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, joins me in the studio to look at the political power play in the ADC and across other political parties. Glad to have you join me, Dr. Sam Amadi.
Thank you for having me.
Interesting. Let's begin with the presidential ticket of the ADC party. The conflicts, factions emerging between supporters of Atiku, Obi, and Amaechi. What's your overall view? I mean, it's a human organization, and people will compete but what's your overall view about what's playing out in the party at this time?
Well, I think it's maybe predictable surprise, or not even a surprise. I mean, look, this party, ADC, is, if you like, a gathering of diverse politicians. But primarily, Nigerian politicians have a certain, sameness, okay? Monotony, they're just the same. They're looking for power. But even that monotony, that sameness, there's a lot of differences. So ADC, unlike APC, when APC came in 2015, they also had different people come from realms of ABGA, ACN, majorly CPC, and what they called new PDP. The difference is that everybody there had one definition, the institutional politicians who wanted power first and primarily. The problem in ADC now is that you have what you call obedience. A group of known politicians before who, under radicalizing crisis of the Nigerian state, in 2023 band themselves together to advocate P2B as a proxy for a more structural, systematic transformation. And so they are coming into this alliance, if you like, with a vehemence, principled vehemence. You may not like their view, right, but principled meaning not good or bad, but essentially deriving from an idea, okay? So they're coming in with that to enter into an alliance where the normal language is deal making and transaction. So they are saying, Obi or nothing. Basically saying, we are not here just for power, we have an agenda. Now, I think that it calls for leadership maturity of the ADC leaders to say, look, let's not pretend. Everybody in this coalition has a candidate they would like to have. So nothing wrong in any of them. I mean, talk about unity. Unity does not mean you can't support all the other aspirants. That's not politics. You're going to support the aspirants that you want to see win. But the party's leadership has to be neutral and generate trusts so that each of these elements find sufficient space and accommodation and legitimation in the ADC. So they should tweak their mindset from unity as unanimity, okay, all of us support all candidates, it's not going to happen, to structural accommodation where everybody commits to outcome, but everybody is free to drive their game. That's what I think is missing. So Bolaji's idea of hush down obedience or hush down articulate, whatever they are, so that we don't have people talking about one person or the other, that's not what we look at. But let's go from the U.S. Democratic Party, when Obama was challenging the Clinton family. Clinton was institutional. Obama was driven by, I remember I was Harvard undergraduate. Obama came with some young boys, say he gave a great speech, they say we want change. The Democratic Party initially scorned them, but when the thing was too much, they accommodated them. In fact, Clinton was winning at a point, Obama became a phenomenon. The super delegates turned back and embrace that movement. So what I expect the ADC is in crisis because their leadership is not cognizant of the dynamics that have changed in politics. What happened to PDP again? These guys may not be good politicians, but they are passionate They are different because they are not, nobody's buying them, nobody's funding them. I mean, some of them are not even in touch with Peter. I talked to some of the obedience abroad. They said they've never spoken with their principal.
To what you said there.
Yeah.
They may not be politicians, but they are passionate.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about that obedience factor. Obi's group, they're being accused of trying to take over the party and promoting Obi or nothing. Bolaji, of course, warns that is divisive. What do you make of the fact that they're trying to, well, according to him, take over the party, and they're saying a black or white and no middle ground?
Absolutely. I think it should be troubling to Bolaji and others. Again, these guys can't take over the party. They don't even have, most of the officials in the party are not obedient. In fact, I can guess that maybe only 1%. Bolaji is not obedient, chairman is not obedient, secretary is not obedient, nobody's obedient there. So they can't even take over the party. I think the point is that the ADC would need to run on the momentum that obedience generates. And so they would like them to bracket off Obi and be ADC. This is the quagmire here now. This is the problem. Enter the room, drop your coat, your winter jacket, which is Obi, enters ADC. But that is because they don't understand the nature of this group. That this is even a group that P2P is not even, unlike typical political groups.
It's very fluid and dynamic.
Because they're not even, Peter is not the creator of that group. That's the problem. So you see Tinubu's supporters. Maybe he has helped them politically, put them in position, service, quote unquote, call meetings.
Okay, Obi did not particularly...
He didn't create the... That's the problem, is that this is a phenomenon that found Obi as his symbolism and vehicle. So if you think they will behave like typical politicians, they come to the room, drop off, look for deals, it's not going to happen. So it's your advantage to say, okay, we have these strange guys who are powerful, who we need to win election. Get them in, but let them sign on. Okay, so Obi or nothing, that's fine. But there's a process to elect the delegates. Keep your eye on the process. Keep your eye on the party structure. In fact, that Obi or nothing gingers, you see, these guys are used to tiptoeing politics, low energy politics. A crack deal at the back door, but these guys are coming with turbulence as politics. You know, rhetorical turbulence. They are coming with arguments. They are coming with declarations, Obi or nothing. That's not a threat, politically, because you need that energy.
Focus. That's supporting. They saw something, and you need the energy.
So you need the energy. As long as they're not breaching your rules, as long as they're going to follow your rules, if it will be a message, that's fine.
How do you harness that energy?
Exactly.
Harmonize it.
Yes.
For your success or to help your party. Now let's talk about the zoning. I mean, we're breaking down the disputes. Zoning disputes.
Yeah.
Obi wants presidential ticket zoned to the south.
In 2022, before 2023, Obi wanted zoning. That's partly why he left PDP. Okay, so nothing strange. Not just Obi. The PDP guys who are struggling to take their party have said they're going to do what? Zone.
South.
So the zoning argument is not anathema. It's a mainstream political discussion. Atiku's issue with the Gang of Five, or what do you call it? Group of Five.
Group of Five.
The Group of Five.
Not
gang. Group of Five.
And the rest of
exactly. It's centrally around zoning. Up to today, Minister Wike keeps saying that he couldn't have supported Atiku because it was a breach of South-North. So that's nothing strange. I mean, ADC leaders should not live in denial. That it doesn't mean that ultimately the party will zone or not.
Yeah.
But they have to entertain the fact that many Nigerians think that the right thing to do is zone. So stop blackmailing people who are asking for zoning. It's for the party. I think the party is not a franchise of one man. The party will sit together and say, look, this is a policy we decided. They did not decide through the democratic process that the party will not zone or will zone. Yeah, okay. So when they make it an issue, they are destroying before they started building.
That's the two questions I'm going to put to you. I think Bolaji also mentioned it. Atiku's ambition. Party stakeholders are raising concerns that this could divide or derail the coalition and risk losing key figures. What do you think about that? Are these noises that is erupting within the ADC party, do you think is favoring the ruling party? What do you think?
I think it favors the ruling party. Let me start with it does, because the ruling party is the party you need to provide alternative to. And again, I heard some diplomats, say, but what are we choosing? Between what and what? The assumption that economy is failing, it's not enough to drive out Tinubu. Because they can flip the narrative and say, okay, half a dozen and empty, half a dozen full, okay? We've made some movement from inflation of X to X minus 2. You have to show them an alternative. And so what should be happening right now is the idea that we want to, ADC is an alternative in its policy, something new. But what I see, honestly, is that ADC is enacting the same kind of politics. It worked in 2015 because of two factors. One, they were able to demonize Jonathan massively, and the Chibok issues and other issues played there, and then the civil society naively, were co-opted. Now the civil society is more sophisticated from their failure, so you're not going to labor is not easily co-opted. Civil society. So the ADC has to create a national movement around messaging, and if they are, get themselves trapped on Atiku or not Atiku, and again, no, not Atiku's fault. Atiku promises to be a controversial political figure in Nigeria. 2023, part of PDP's collapse is a revolt against Atiku Abubakar, the G5, whether for personal reason, not his own fault or making. But it's a reality that ADC is going to struggle with the Atiku question. And I think the best way they can solve that problem is not to protect Atiku. It seems to me that the leadership is under some impression that you have to protect some outcomes, namely one, no zoning. That's not that, they shouldn't declare that. The argument is that, oh, you win part before. That's a debate, rhetorical argument that the party will conduct. Don't foreclose that discussion now. Secondly, that, obedience should come under Obi. No, Atiku Obi. No, that's not the point. The party's point now should be to build a party, create backroom conversations around what do we do to win election, and then move into the gear when you have created consensus. Right now, there's a revolt in the House. And how do you unseat a party that is corrupting everybody, almost 30 or thereabout state governors and one flank? You need the people. And for now, the energy is with obedience. It does not mean that they're going to deliver for you presidential ticket. It means that you need them in-house than outside. And I think the strategic calculation at this early time to create a sense of fait accompli on the presidential ticket is a false one. And someone like Bola, who is strategically smart, should know that speaking against the obedience and calling them names is not profitable at all. I mean, what do you get? Subtraction is not politics. Addition is politics. So even if the obedience say Obi or nothing, and they are in-house, and they are part of building the party, then when you get to the stage when Obi makes it or doesn't make it, then you see the consequence. But at this point, Obi or nothing is actually a mobilizing voice. If they keep saying it, and all the Obi supporters, lovers, come in the house, that's good for you. So don't start hushing them down. Because
you've practically answered my question, the last one. But let me ask you this, the last one on what should they be doing. I think in
what they should be doing now is, and I do it, David Mark is a very strategic, disciplined leader. And I think they are building the structure. You can see that they're setting up their committees, different committees. They are making outreach. In fact, since Obi joined, if Kwankwaso joined, you see a boss. Obi came with a big bang. Kwankwaso, if he does join, will come with a big bang. So they need all those momentum and ride it, deepen the structure of the party, work as they're working, but forget this rhetoric. Don't be really obsessed with protecting anybody. Don't protect Obi, don't protect Atiku. That's not their job. Even if you are Atiku's spokesperson or lover, at this point as National Public Secretary, you should be disciplined, not to be seen as being provoked.
Pandering to one side
being
or
provoked.
side.
Yes, don't be provoked by obedience. They're going to be obedience who are going to be nasty and take it too much. It doesn't matter. Stay focused, knowing that Peter, Atiku, El-Rufai, everybody, it's important to build the coalition.
And you can't take away the obedience from Obi.
Like I said, Obi can't even take obedience away from himself.